كن سعيدا كن فريدا عش بفخر في الحياة لا تبالي فالمعالي بالتحدي لا سواه كن سعيدا كن فريدا عش بفخر في الحياة لا تبالي فالمعالي بالتحدي لا سواه.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Welcome back to our series of health and lifestyles. Today we'll briefly be talking about nutrition health. As we know, nutrition is very important for our health because basically people say we are what we eat. So the two main aspects that I'll be looking at today is what is nutrition and what is diet, because these two relate very much, and one actually leads to the other. So in terms of nutrition, basically what are the nutrients that we take, what are the food substances that we actually take. This lead to two things, that is the growth in the body and the development. And ideally, growth is just the increase in size of the body parts, and development is the actually change in the specific change, the specialized change in our body that leads now to our function. For example, the brain grows to a certain size, but it develops to different aspects so that it can be able to do its different activities. And when we talk about diet, basically what we are looking at is what is this that a person eats. So diet is what we take, and before we take it, it encompasses the different stages. We know that the issue of where it was gotten. This is the food security issue. Then we know how it should be prepared before it is cooked, the way we cook it, and later after it is being cooked, if it is not eaten in totality, how much it is stored, how we store it, and the most important is the eating itself. So the taking of these nutrients, the taking of this food substance. So nutrition and the diet are very important, that lead to what we take, and what we take is actually that now enable us to grow, enables us to develop, and also enables us to do our day-to-day activity, because it gives us the energy, it gives us the body nutrients that will protect our bodies from diseases. So this becomes very important. So ideally, we need to know about what is nutrition security, what is food security, and in the long run, what is this nutrition education that is very important for a person so that you could be taking the right nutrients. So in terms of nutrition security or food security, this is basically the aspect of that the food is available and the food is actually accessible. So it's available, it is found, and the people can actually be able to use it in terms of either they're growing it or in terms of they have the money to go and buy it. In terms of nutrition security, actually we are looking at a person knows what are the correct nutrients to be taken. These involve the aspect of what is a balanced diet, and you know when you're talking about a balanced diet, you're basically talking about the three main areas. That is the carbohydrates, the foods that gives you the energy. We're talking about the proteins. These are the building foods. We are talking about the vitamins and nutrients that actually now enables you to have a body that can defend itself against the diseases. And then water is a very important aspect of the body, because almost the 3/4 of our bodies is actually water. Water is very important for different aspects, for the food to move from one area to the other, for removing the substances that needs to be removed, excreted from the body. These are mostly substances which are either excess or they are harmful when they need to be removed. We know that our blood is also composed, a larger portion of it is actually made of water. So water becomes a very important aspect. So when you're talking about nutrition security, is knowing the right types of foods to be taken and taking the correct amount so that we do not have an adverse effect in our bodies. We know that food either taken in excess or taken in little amount brings problems. When we take a lot of food, we know there is overnutrition, and in overnutrition there are several conditions actually that are associated with overnutrition. And one of the main common one that is known is the issue of obesity and overweight, where a person's body mass index, that is when we calculate the weight of the person with the height, find that the value that is supposed to be there, the normal one, of a body mass index of 25, it's higher than that. So a person becomes either overweight or becomes obese, and we know obesity and overweight, they're associated with several conditions and diseases and even some cancers. So other diseases associated with overweight, we know they are the non-communicable diseases, diseases like cardiovascular diseases affecting the blood system and affecting the heart because of overweight, especially issues to do with fats, to do with cholesterol that can easily affect the person. The blood pressure goes higher, the heart cannot be able to function, cannot pump. The blood is supposed to pump to all the areas. Find that the blood vessels, especially the very small blood vessel in areas like, for example, the eyes, in areas at the fingertips and area at the toes, where the very small blood vessels, they are clogged with fat. And when there is no enough supply of blood, there is no exchange of oxygen, there's no exchange of nutrients, and there's no exchange of the things that needs to be removed. The excretion of the poisonous things in the body is not possible. So the body is affected. We know other non-communicable diseases like diabetes mellitus, excessive intake of sugar can actually lead to this, so it can be affected by nutrition. We know that some body people who have overweight, they have joint problems, they have pains in their bodies, and the movement becomes a problem. The other way also can cause problem under nutrition. We know, especially in children, we know that children who are underfed, they have undernutrition, they have diseases like marasmus, they have stunting. This is because they do not have enough nutrition in their body, and their body is not growing to the maximum potential, hence they become sick. And we know either whether you have overnutrition, undernutrition, will affect your body, will affect your functioning, will affect basically all the other aspects of health that you have. So we need to actually to know what is the proper diet, what is the balanced diet, so that actually a person can take. Basically, to have a balanced diet doesn't mean expensive food. It means getting what is available around your area. For example, the categories of food that we have talked about, if it is carbohydrates, we know that maize is one of them, wheat products is one of them. We know things like plantain, the bananas is one of them. So either this category, one can pick one of them. Issues to do with proteins, it doesn't have to be meat. It can be the legumes, that is the beans, the njahes, the peas. So these, one of them can certify as this group. Then from the vitamins and the nutrients, we have vegetables, we have our fruits. Depending on the area you have, actually, ideally, you should be able to see that you have the three of these big categories of food. Then water is very important, as I mentioned, because it is needed in our body. Our body is composed of most of it of water. So the correct amounts should be taken, even for water. We know excessive water also can be a problem. Also, and not drinking enough water should also be a problem. So basically, also one should take water. Sometimes this water, we get it through other products, sometimes not directly through drinking plain water. We know that the juices we take, they have some amount of food, even of water that we take. The food that we also take, it also some amount of water that we take. So ideally, the water, if we want to know that is almost enough, But per day, a person ideally should take about 3 liters of water. This is in circumstances that this person is not engaging in very vigorous activities, is not sweating a lot, is not in an environment that is very hot. If it is very hot and a person is engaged in vigorous activity, it means he should take more water. This can now move from 3 to about 5. Giving in terms of glasses, when it comes to this circumstance, it becomes very difficult. You can just say 8 glasses or 12 glasses. But ideally, the simple way to know that you are taking enough water will be to see that when you're going to the loo to urinate, when you look at your urine, it's actually clear. It does not have any coloring of the yellowish color. It means now actually your body has enough water, and that could be ideally give you an idea that I have enough water. So the composition of this food is very important, how you take it, and it needs to help you so that you'll be able to do your day-to-day activity. And the food we know that we take will affect our mental health. We know the substances that we take, they become nutrients and they go and help the brain growth. We know that the food that we take will help us in our physical activity. If we don't have the energy, our body is not built to do the activities that we have, we'll have problem. We know that if we are not well physically, we are not well mentally because of issues of nutrition, it will be very difficult for us to be able to have social health. We will not be able to interact with our colleagues. We will not be able to move to the community activities. So food or nutrition will actually also affect this other aspect. And we know that nutrition becomes important not just once a person becomes an adult, but at all the stages. And this includes pregnancy, the child, especially during the growth of the child in the mother's womb, and up to 5 years. We know this is the duration that a child or a human being has the most growth spurt. So these are the time that you need the best nutrition. And then in terms of when a person is during adolescent, we also need the appropriate nutrition. When a person is an adult, especially engaging in physical activities, also engaging in brain activities, that is reading, studying, it has been shown needs a lot of energy. It takes about 25% of the energy of the food that is taken. In the elderly stage, we know that this is a stage that this person should be given better consideration in terms of nutrition. There might be some food now that will not be able to take, or he might need more of some nutrients in this stage so that this person can remain healthy. So at these different stages, we know it will be very important to look at different types of food, but more so that it should be balanced so that this person can be well and undertake his day-to-day activities. Welcome back. Now we want to talk about 3 main aspects of nutrition in terms of nutrition health. We look at nutrition at different stages of life, that is from pregnancy to elderly. Then we look at what are some of the challenges we are facing so that we are unable to take good nutrition or people are faced with malnutrition. Then we'll end up by looking at what are the simple things that we can do so that we can all have good nutrition, we can be able to have a good diet, and we can be able to access good food. So basically, in terms of nutrition, we know nutrition is very important. And looking at the stage of pregnancy, and I would like to say that even before pregnancy, our women need a special diet at different stages, because in the later life they'll be pregnant and they'll be carrying children. And we know that our women, since they are children themselves, they are girls, they are affected by this nutrition. In terms of the bone structure, for example, if they have not taken appropriate nutrition, they do not take a balanced diet, we know that the bone infrastructure does not go to the potential that it's supposed to be. It does not develop to the level that it actually is supposed to be. And in such a case, one of the main problems is that the pelvic structure will not develop adequately, and it might be stunted. That means it have not grown to the level that it's supposed to be. So therefore, for example, during delivery, when the pelvic is smaller than it's supposed to be, the child will have problems coming out because the mother's bony infrastructure is actually smaller. So we know that it is very important for the girls to start even or to have better nutrition from that age, so that in later stage it does not affect them. So during pregnancy, we are assuming that if the lady took good nutrition, even the nutrition that she is taking at this stage actually is very important for the growth of the child. It's very important for her own health. So therefore, we encourage that a mother who is pregnant actually should be even more careful and should be more concerned about taking a balanced diet, so that she can have all these nutrients that are expected. But also, she will need to take more, because currently she is having a child who's growing in her womb, and this child, we know at this stage, grows very fast and needs several minerals, needs several vitamins, and there are many problems that actually can occur in this child, or even to the mother during this stage if they do not take adequate nutrition. We know, for example, lack of appropriate enough calcium will actually lead one of the problems in the mother. It can actually lead to the bones of the mother being reabsorbed, so that that calcium is used for the growth and development of the child. And when this calcium is removed from the bone of the mother, one of the things can actually occur is the deteriorating of the mother's teeth. The teeth actually, calcium in the teeth can be reabsorbed, and the mother can have problems. The bone infrastructure can become now weak because it's being reabsorbed. What we call osteoporosis, and this can lead to easy fracture of the mother's bones. And to the child, if there isn't enough minerals and, for example, this calcium, we know that the child will also have a problem with the bony structure that is growing. Lack of iodine because of the mother's thyroid problems or not enough intake can lead to cretinism. This is whereby the child later will not grow to full potential, will be stunted both in growth and both in development. So you find that this child actually is very small. You find that this child, there are some functions concerning or related to the brain, to thinking, to the brain development were not complete. So this child will not be capable to undertake certain activities. Certain abilities will actually be low. We know that, for example, folic acid, if it is not enough during pregnancy, the child central nervous system that is concerned with the brain and the nerves actually will not develop fully and might have problems. So this child will be not develop completely in terms of the brain. So it's very important that during pregnancy the mother actually takes a balanced diet, both for her sake and the child's sake. After delivery, one of the main important thing is that the child is exclusively breastfed for the first 6 months. And it has been shown, studies have shown that it is adequate the child to just take the mother's milk, and this will suffice for all the components, the other components that are expected in terms of carbohydrates, proteins, energy, minerals for the child for the first 6 months. That's very important. It has actually been shown that when you introduce other foods during this time, actually it affects the child negatively. It will have more diseases. It will not grow appropriately. So it is enough just the child to have this breast milk for the first 6 months and not even giving even water. So the milk has enough water for the child. So during this time, the first 6 months of the child, we actually encourage that the child should just be given breast milk, even if the mother is doing activities that maybe will move her away from the child. We encourage that the mother could be expressing the milk can store it in a clean container, can even put it in the fridge, and when the child needs to take that milk, it can be warmed and given to the child. So, for the example, if a mother is going to work or has other activity that she must attend, so she can express and give that child that milk, that child can be given that milk the other time that the mother is not there. So exclusively breastfeeding is very important during the 6 months. After 6 months, we encourage that the child now should be weaned, that is, should be introduced slowly to other feeds, and it's actually a schedule that you can be informed what amount of other food that can be actually included during this time until the child grows to 5 years. And we know that from birth to 5 years, this is the time that the child actually has the most growth and development. So the child will need a balanced diet, adequate food for this child, and which should be balanced. So during this time, actually special attention to nutrition for this child, so that it can actually help this child grow to full potential later in life. During the childhood and during the adolescent age, we know that there is a spurt of growth during adolescent, and these children at this age will actually need more energy food, so that the activity that they're engaging, they can have enough food, they can grow, and they can also develop fully during this time. And we know that lack of appropriate nutrition, lack of a balanced diet at this time can actually stall the growth of this child, can also make this person lethargic, not able to do what's supposed to be, somehow becomes a bit lazy and not capable of doing the activities. During adult age, the main concern here is especially what is this adult doing in terms of physical activities, the work that this person is engaged. So a person who is engaged in more physical nature of activity will need the more energy providing food, the carbohydrates and the fats, and these should be ones that are actually giving him energy and can avoid especially animal fat. Plant fat is better. Things like olive oil, simsim oil is better than the fat. Also, taking excessively issues like dairy products, we know the cream, yogurt, issues like that, they have more of these saturated fats, and these increase problems in nutrition. So this one should be avoided. In the elderly stage, we know this is an time that the elderly will need more of the calcium, so that they can have better bones, so that they should have more of the vitamin D, so that they can absorb the calcium in their body. And they can also be looked at so that they prevent some of the non-communicable diseases that we had mentioned. We know a person at this age, if he has excessive weight, will be in danger of having diseases of the heart, having diabetes, especially type 2, also having cancers. There's some cancers related to malnutrition. So during this stage also, it is very important that these people are taken care, they eat the correct amount of food, but also to take care of maybe the complication that they have depending on the person. So during these different stages, there are different needs according to the growth, according to the development and the activity of the person. So briefly, in terms of challenges, currently the main challenge for us in nutrition is because of one, poor diet. People, yes, taking food, but it is not a balanced diet. Then there is the issue of the processed food. Currently, people have changed their eating habits. They're taking a lot of processed food. We see that people are taking a lot of junk food. They take a lot of salt. They take a lot of things like crepe. So there is a lot of processed food, even in terms of wheat products, like a lot of bread. So people are taking these, which actually, looking at them compared to the traditional food, they're not very healthy. Then the issue of food security in other areas where people do not have, the foods are not available. So these are the main challenges in nutrition. The few things that we can do in nutrition so that we can maintain our nutrition health. One is for us actually to be able, if it's possible, to have our own kitchen gardens, that whereby we grow some of these vegetables, we grow some of our fruits. If we can have what we call also kitchen butchery. Kitchen butchery, I mean, we can have our small animals. We can have animals like rabbit, our poultry, our goats, which we can actually be sure that the food is available to us, it's accessible at a cost that we can maintain, and also to be able to have some nutrition education when we are going out to buy foods, especially in the supermarkets. Can we read the labels? Do you know the contents? Do you know the amount of, for example, fat, the salt in it, so that we can actually take what is recommended? Because most of this food, when we take it in excessive, are the ones which give us problems. So we know that this nutrition education, actually, if we have it, it will help us to have good nutrition. Because we know nutrition health actually affects all the other aspects of health, and this is very important. So nutrition, we need to be concerned about it and to do the right thing. شكرا.
كن سعيدا كن فريدا عش بفخر في الحياة لا تبالي فالمعالي بالتحدي لا سواه كن سعيدا كن فريدا عش بفخر في الحياة لا تبالي فالمعالي بالتحدي لا سواه